unladylike opinions. This is Queen Sugar, Season 6, Episode 8, All Those Brothers and Sisters. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying sugar. Maybe because I like to say sugar. So the episode starts off with Ralph Angel sitting on the swing overlooking the land when Darla walks up and said he had too much. Darla walks up and she asks how did he sleep. She said she slept well, and she asks how did he sleep, and he said he had too much on his mind to sleep, and he never saw himself leaving the land. He thought he would die on the land because he was born here in the blood of it. And he said Charlie Collins said the farmer's lawsuit is set up and to meet her down at City Hall. So Darla tells him wherever we are is exactly where we are supposed to be, and nobody can change that. She wants him to prepare for their daughter coming, and they are family, and wherever they are, there is where their home is. So Nova is sitting down when she starts having flashbacks from the arrest, and she notices a piece of glass, and she goes over and picks it up off the floor, and she tries to get herself back together, but she just keeps hearing the noise of the arrest in her head. And over at City Hall, Charlie tells the farmers they won a lawsuit, but the bad news is the settlement is not what they was hoping. They will receive $20,000 from the settlement and $20,000 from the American Rescue Plan. And of course, they were pissed, and she said they deserve more, but this is progress, and we knew this wasn't gonna be fair to no black man. They always give us crumb, and Ralph Angel said, and we always take it. Charlie said the process has ran its course, but they can live to fight another day, and they will fight. Charlie thanks Ralph for all his hard work, and after the meeting is over, Charlie tells Ralph she is not giving up on the farm. That's our land. It belongs to us. She asks, has he been able to track down Theo? And he says, no, his phone is disconnected. So Charlie tells Ralph they're going to be okay. And then you see Micah and his friend are going through pictures that Micah took. And he tells Micah he should think about doing a show on campus. And he tells him he got something, and he is proud of him. And Micah thanks him for always, for his friendship and being there for him through all his tough times. Then you see Aunt Vi tells Hollywood she is happy he let Micah have his show at his bar, and she knows it's going to be a success. So Hollywood said, yeah, that boy got talent and the whole world need to see it. And then Aunt Vi gets lightheaded, and when Hollywood asks her about it, she tries to play it off as being tired. And Hollywood said, well, I'm going to stay here and just postpone Micah's show. And she tells him, no, don't do that. I'm going to be there, I'm going to be right there sitting front row, and you're going to be there as well. And she said, I just need to sit down and, catch my breath. And so Nova is packing her a bag when she gets a knock on the door. And of course she gets spooked or whatever. But it's Dominic coming to check on her. And he said he brought her some gumbo. And he see the bag and he asks, where is she going? And she says she doesn't know. She can't hear her ancestors talking. So she gonna hit the road and let her spirit guide her. So he understands, and he tells her to be careful. And then he asks her, can he come with her? And, she agrees and tell him to go pack his bag. So the farmers arrive at the real bar, and they tell Hollywood they deserve more money. And Hollywood said, it's a shame black folks got to fight for extra, even for a few dollars. Michael said, y'all know it doesn't have to be this way. And he think they can change things with liberation. And he said he feels like the reason we ain't seeing full liberation in America is some black folks don't know that they are not really fully free. And if they want to change, they got to be the ones to do it and think outside the box and believe change is possible and do the work to make it happen. So Charlie gets a call from Davis, and he asks what she was doing tonight. And she said, maxing and relaxing. I'm lying. She didn't say that. She just she just said relaxing with a bottle of wine, reading, doing some reading. And she tells him she misses him because this is her second time calling her. So obviously he misses her. So he said he is glad she is planning to relax, and he got her tickets to something fun. And he tells her it's a car outside, and she said she had something to do. And he said the car's outside and bring an overnight bag. And my hair is shit everywhere. Oh my God. And he tells her to bring an overnight bag. And he hangs up, and she was like, where am I going, Davis? But Davis gone, girl. So Nova and Dominic get ready for their little road trip, and as they're pumping gas, they talk about how interesting St. John the Baptist Parish is, because it's the biggest slave uprising in U.S. history. Dominic said he is working on a project at the governor's office, part of the Reclaim Black Land Initiative. This is when they find land that was stolen or destroyed from black people, and they get it named as a historical site. That way it can be torn down. She respects him for that. She was like, respect. And he opens the door for her, and she said, he asked, where we head. She was like, I don't know. It'll be a surprise. So Hollywood tells Ralph he knows he was hard on him, and Ralph cuts him off and said, nah, you were right. I messed up. He said, I ain't gonna mess up anymore. And Hollywood asks if they are good, and they shake hands and hug. So Michael takes them to his show. Michael was ready and was like, at the Real Bar, and he takes them in to show his photography work. And Ralph said, let me find out you had all the talent in the family. And Hollywood said, you trying to say my barbecue skills ain't no talent? And he was dead serious. And one of the farmers sees a picture of Michael with his head on Isaiah's shoulder, and he says, this what you mean about change? Y'all taking this brotherly love thing to another level. You are mighty close to each other. And Isaiah said, no offense, sound like you not used to seeing black men love each other. And he said, not like the farmer said, Cardell, that's his name. Not like this. And Michael was like, what's wrong with two black men showing each other love? And Michael walking up like, I'm like, what Michael finna do? So he says, as he says this, Hollywood jumps in and was like, nothing. Are we good here? And Aunt Vi is walking into her room, scratching her arm, and she sits down and puts cream on it, and she gets up and she passes out. And if I can remember, I think Aunt Vi was diagnosed with lupus a while back. I think that's what it was. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to look into that. So Cardell, the angry farmer, says they all up on each other. Hollywood said, you're reading too much into it. They friends. And Ralph said, even if they wasn't just friends, so what? And Michael said, we are just friends. And Ralph said, let people be who they are. My son played with dolls and I wasn't tripping. Isaiah says, when he spent time overseas, he seen black men holding hands and showing affection in public, and there was no problem. Cardell said, okay, well, you ain't in Rwanda anymore, and that's all I'm saying. And so Nova and Dominic are getting ready to tour Plantation House, and he's kind of a little hesitant because he was like, I drive by this all the time, and I never thought about coming in. And he tells that they got to download the app. It's basically a self-guided tour. So as they're walking through, they talk about the things they did and do to us now. It's amazing that we didn't pick up every gun, every knife, every weapon and retaliate. Dominic gets emotional. He gets emotional as he's talking about this. Hollywood walks in at home and he's calling by name, telling her about Michael, and he see her passed out on the floor, and she talking about she okay. She just lost her balance. Hollywood said, we going to the hospital, and she says, no, we're not. I'm just having a flare up. I just need my meds and some rest. Hollywood said, if it doesn't get better by the end of the night, we going to the hospital. And he helps her up, and she's still hollering she good. So Dominic and Nova arrive at the church part of the plantation, and Nova sits down and she's watching this little girl, going back and forth, playing with the little mannequin children they had like that, supposed to be like little slave children. And the little girl walks over to Nova and tells Nova that, she's pretty. And Nova says, show her you. And she was like, I know. Or whatever. And Isaiah and Michael arrive back at the dorm. And Isaiah's helping Michael bring his stuff in. And Michael's acting all weird. And Isaiah asked if he was thinking about where his next exhibit was going to be. And he said, there won't be another one. And Isaiah said, you had a successful one. Why are you saying this? And Michael was like, you call that success? And he said, they didn't like my work. And Isaiah said, that was just one random old dude. And Michael thinks that the other people didn't like his work either. They just defended him because he's their family. And Isaiah said, or they actually like your photos. He said, you got more confidence than this. What's up with you? And I know you're not letting some old school dude talk get into you. So Michael said it wasn't getting to him, and Isaiah puts his hands on, Michael's shoulder, like just put his hands on him, and he kind of like brushed off and tense up. And Isaiah said, you front like you're conscious, but you just being virtual signaling, and you can't let the toxic BS in. And he was like, talk to me. And Michael just did like this, and he was like, wow. So he said, I wouldn't be surprised if you wasn't talking mess about me with everyone else. And Michael said, that's what you think of me? The only one who defends you when the frat boys make fun of you for being gay? And Isaiah said, I never said I was. I don't have my sexuality. He said, I never said I was. I don't have my sexuality doesn't need defending. You are not a superhero, and I don't know who you are right now. And he cries and walks away. Michael has a little stupid look on his face. Then they flash over to Hollywood, and he checks on Vi, and she's still feeling lousy. And she got an ice pack on her head and stuff. And he tells her he bet she'll feel better when she sees who is there. And she said she look a hot mess. She don't want to see nobody right now. And he said, yes, you do. You want to see this person? And he hollered, hey, come in. And it's Ralph Angel. I'm like, girl, y'all said that like it was somebody all. I'm like, I like me some Ralph now. Don't get it twisted. But I'm like, I thought it was somebody new, Blue or somebody. So he said he just wanted to check on her and make things right between them. And she tells him he is doing the best he can, and he is a good family man just like his dad. She said she looked up the school that Blue is at, and it's one of the best schools in the country, and she's proud he sent Blue there to get the best education. And Ralph said he definitely gifted, and she said she was just hurt with Blue leaving, and he glad Blue wasn't here to see what was going on with the farm. So she tells him she saw what the Landrys did to his crop. She tells him he got so many forces against him in this world as a black man and a black father. You get enough pain from the outside. You don't need it from your family. He said, but I was wrong, and I made some bad decisions, and I wanted you to know where my heart was. She tells him he ain't losing nothing he can't get back. He still got family and love. She said she promised Ernest she was going to take care of them no matter how hard-headed they is. He said he doesn't want to lose her, and he wants her to start taking better care of herself. He can't lose her. She said she ain't going nowhere, and she already feeling better by seeing him. So she hugs him. And then we get over to Dominic, and he gets a call, and it's his boss because he forgot to meet some deadlines he had by the end of the day. And he said it was worth it because he needed today. And Nova said that that day of the arrest would be with her for the rest of her life. And he said there are so many scars here. And Nova said scars mean healing, and we no longer have to live in fear. We won't let them win. And Dominic said he came on this trip to get to know Nova better. And she thanks him, and she tries to lean in for a kiss, and he like, hold back. And he said he has come to care about her or whatever, but she is in a vulnerable place. So let's wait a minute so we can be on steady ground for it. And Nova was like, okay. So I guess he melted her heart then. So Charlie is walking to her old apartment building, and she calls Davis and asks, why was she there? And he comes out and hugs her and picks her up, and she asks, why they were there, and they go in the house, and it's all set up the same way it was when they first got it. And she feels like she walked into a time capsule. And he takes her hand, and they sit down on the floor, and they had pieces in wine coolers, and they're reminiscing on the past, when they barely had anything. So she is impressed, and she can't stop smiling, and he gets up and pulls a ring out his jacket, and she gets up like Davis. And he said a lot of things have changed since they were kids, but the love for her hasn't. And it's endless and everlasting, and he asks her to marry him again. And She stutters like she doesn't know what to say, and he thinks that they have a beautiful love story that has yet to be written. And she paces around and tells him she is running for Congress, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to make meaningful changes, not just with St. Joe, but all over. So she said she will be spending the next year traveling, doing around the state, launching her campaign, doing speaking engagement, talking at colleges. And she doesn't think the long distance thing would set them up. She thinks the long distance thing would set them up for failure. And he said she giving up too easy. And she said she loves him, she always will, but she don't think she can marry him right now. And she closes the ring box, and he cries, and he says he is a patient man and he is not going anywhere. So Aunt Vi tells Charlie she is okay, she just needed to slow down. And Michael said he don't know if that's possible because she always doing something. So Charlie says she has good news, and she tells her that she's gonna run for Congress. And Aunt Vi said, "Go get that power, girl." And women in my time didn't have a seat at the table. Hell, we didn't even get invited, and now you not just invited, you at the head of the table, girl. And they all laugh. And Charlie said, "I got to win first, and Vi said, "Well, go out there and win then." Charlie said, "If I win, I will have the power to prevent what happened to their land from happening ever again." Vi said, "We need folks like you to fight for us." Vi asked how Davis was with all this. And she says, "They are good." He accepted it. And she's like staring in the air. So then we see her arriving back at home with her bag or whatever that she had when she went to see Davis. And you see Davis staring at a pic of them two, and he sends her a text. And I really couldn't read out what the text said. I'm blind. So she texts him back. Then you see Darla and Ralph Angel on a farm, and she tells him she found them an apartment and it's an affordable price, and this will be a brand new start. He said he still need more time, and she said he needs to accept that this might be happening. We can't hide from it. We got a baby on the way, and we need to think about that. He said he always told her he'll take care of her, and he's going to do just that, and they going to be all right. He said, "I promise." And that was the end of the episode. That was my review of Queen Sugar. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will get back with you next Tuesday. Bye. There's only 2 episodes left, so okay, bye.